There are certain things I used to believe were just part of who I was. I thought I was impatient. I thought I cared too much. I thought I was just the kind of person who couldn't relax. The kind of person who checked the clock every 5 minutes, who rushed through the house, who treated being late like an emergency, who panicked when plans changed, who snapped at the people he loved over things that didn't matter. I thought this was just my personality. Then I left home. I went to college, and for the first time in my life, I started living around people who moved through the world differently. Someone spilled coffee before class. They laughed. Someone missed an exit. They turned around. Someone forgot an assignment. They apologized and figured it out. People made mistakes, and somehow the world kept spinning. Meanwhile, if I couldn't find my keys, my heart raced. If I was running 10 minutes late, my entire body treated it like disaster. Because I thought panic meant preparedness. I thought urgency meant responsibility. I thought if I worried enough, rushed enough, controlled enough, I could stop bad things from happening. But no amount of rushing ever made traffic move faster. No amount of anger ever made lost keys appear. No amount of snapping at people I loved changed the fact that I was already late. The outcome stayed the same, only the atmosphere changed. And eventually, I started asking a question that terrified me. Who taught me this? And the answer broke my heart. Because the people who raised me weren't trying to make me anxious. They were trying to protect me. Every generation learns how to survive the world it inherits. Maybe my grandparents grew up in homes where emotions weren't discussed because survival didn't leave room for them. Maybe my parents learned that expecting the worst meant being prepared, that worrying meant caring, that pushing through exhaustion meant strength, that if they stayed alert enough, their family would be safe, and in many ways, those beliefs helped them survive. Because they survived, I got opportunities they never had. They walked so I could run. They sacrificed. They worried. They carried burdens I may never fully understand. And because of that, I grew up in a world that gave me something they didn't always have. Language, perspective, permission. The freedom to ask, what am I carrying that isn't actually mine? What deserves to be passed down? And what deserves to end with me? Our generation isn't perfect, but we're more emotionally aware than many generations before us. Not because we're weaker, but because survival finally gave way to reflection. I don't look at my parents and think, why didn't you know better? I think, how could they teach what nobody taught them? I don't feel resentment. I feel responsibility. Because my experiences allowed me to understand differently, and understanding creates obligation. Not an obligation to shame the people who came before me, but an obligation to honor their sacrifices by building on them, to keep the discipline without the panic, the accountability without the fear, the work ethic without the self-destruction. Because healing isn't rejecting where you came from. It's loving it enough to refine it. Then I graduated and moved back home, and suddenly I could see it happening in real time. The rushing, the tension, the catastrophizing, the way small inconveniences became emotional emergencies, the way everyone started moving faster, talking sharper, breathing shorter, as if the volume of our reaction could somehow change reality. And for the first time, I realized I had a choice. I could inherit it or interrupt it. Because peace isn't mediocrity. Slowing down isn't laziness. Surrender isn't giving up. You can still strive for excellence. You can still hold people accountable. Athletes still miss shots. People forget things. You disappoint people. You apologize. You adjust. You try again. That's life, not disaster. life. Some things belong in our hands: preparation, effort, integrity, how we treat people. And some things never did: outcomes, timing, other people's choices, tomorrow. Maybe growing up isn't just learning what to carry. Maybe it's learning what to put down. Because if anxiety can be inherited, maybe peace can be inherited too. Maybe the greatest gift I can give the people I love someday isn't teaching them how to avoid every mistake. Maybe it's teaching them that mistakes don't mean the world is ending, that excellence doesn't require fear, that urgency isn't the same thing as responsibility. I still catch myself rushing sometimes. I still feel my chest tighten when things don't go according to plan. But now, when I can't find my keys, or traffic won't move, or the day falls apart, I try to remember this. The world has been